lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan. Back doing some horror Halloween October reads here at Comic Lounge. This book came across my attention when it first came out. I got the collection. I mean, it says it right there. It's part of the DC horror line. But Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. That if that doesn't make you want to read it, I don't know what will. I mean, it's just a great concept. I love that it's set in World War II. Who doesn't want to see Sergeant Rock fighting some zombies? And it's written by actor Bruce Campbell of Evil Dead fame and Eduardo Risso on the art and Christian Rossi on colors. And what a fun read. This is going to be a quick video because I don't want to I feel like it's cool to go into this blind without knowing too much, but I will kind of just go through it a little bit, kind of show off some of the art, talk a little bit about the story without giving away the actual ending. Fantastic. Beautifully crafted. I love to I always like looking at this, dog tags on the inside of the hardcover. And, off top, Bruce Campbell, not somebody that I would think would necessarily want to write comics. I mean, he's definitely a part of, I guess, nerd culture, if you will, based on his, his cameos. We saw him in Spider-Man movies. Obviously, Evil Dead is huge in that kind of pop culture, nerd culture, whatever, what have you. I kind of wish I knew how this project came about, because it is interesting. Of all books for Bruce Campbell to write a Sergeant Rock fighting zombies, I wouldn't have thought that's what he would want to do, but it's great. It's, beautiful covers by Gary Frank and Brad Anderson. Each one of them is just absolutely phenomenal. The only thing I think that it wasn't marketed that well. I don't feel like they made as big of a deal of Bruce Campbell writing this book as I think they should have, because I feel like it would have sold more copies. But it's always great seeing Eduardo Risso on a book too. I mean, 100 Bullets is easily one of my favorite series of all time. Definitely, it's hard to pick at Vertigo, but definitely in my top 5 Vertigo series also. So, having him do this, and he just kind of fits this time period, it makes me want to see him do a Hellboy story, if I'm being honest, because he definitely, to me, him and Mignola have not similar styles, but they fit very well. Their styles mesh well. Eduardo Risso uses a lot of shadow too in his work. I mean, you can see it here. I mean, look at this, dude. Too, we open up, Hitler is getting information from this general, and he's sweating bullets, and Hitler just rips his fucking head off. And if that doesn't tell you that you're about to be in for one hell of a story, I don't know what will, dude. I mean, it's 2 pages in and you're this is not what I expected. So we have Sergeant Rock and the Easy Company coming in as these soldiers get taken out by, looks like, obviously kind of like a zombie, right? Dozens of Nazi soldiers, and it's like they're already dead. And this is basically what we're going to see. The Nazis have come up with a way to bring back the dead. So it's not necessarily your regular zombie, but they've concocted this way to bring somebody back to life, through the means of science. And that's something also that's always been kind of prevalent, you see it in Hellboy a lot. You've heard the stories of how they were looking into very mysticism and stuff like that, and so it makes sense. It kind of falls in line with that they would come up with this, and it's a regenerative drug, and they're using it to bring back their soldiers, which at that point, so they've already died, and so why not just keep bringing them back? And it's kind of shows a lack of caring for their own people in a sense, and then we see that it's this doctor, Theodore Morell is his personal doctor, and that's who they have to target to kind of take this guy out so that they can put an end to this. And then we're seeing the incoming this new technology, they call it handy talkies, but really we know that's a walkie-talkie, and these night vision goggles. So we're seeing all this kind of new stuff come into the mix, and how they're going to go take down these Nazi zombies. So just throughout this, I mean, it's basically, this is the entire book, right? It's this mission of Sergeant Rock and Easy Company going to take out the Nazi soldiers and kind of what ensues. And we get to see them brought back to life and how absolutely terrifying and creepy they look. I mean, you can see as they inject this drug in, like you'll see the skin close up, but they still look completely dead. So yes, it'll heal their wounds, but they're not coming back the same. I love this scene too. There's a scene where they're like all zombies sitting in there and they just start shooting each other and laughing about it as they're exploding away. And Sergeant Rock is such a great character. I feel like, you know, maybe the war comic is like, it's kind of run its course. Like maybe people don't really want to read something like that. But I think it'd be cool to every once in a while, maybe, you know, you have Sergeant Rock come across, you know, ancestors of current heroes or something fighting in the war with them. Even just one-off miniseries like this, but maybe doing it without the horror bend. But it's always cool to see DC kind of taking some characters that they don't utilize very often and dusting them off, putting them with a new concept. And I love the way they do the technique of looking through the night vision. But what's really cool is kind of like as they're taking out these Nazis and fighting them, you know, we're getting like Hitler and Eva, right? Like, and they're a part of all this, and they obviously this is not what happened in World War II, so we're seeing a different scenario take place. But this war with Nazi zombies is such a brilliant take, and I'm surprised it hasn't been done before. You know, especially with how much Hellboy kind of leans into that with Hitler and the Nazis kind of looking into like magic and stuff like that. So to see them kind of take a scientific bend, amazing. Plus, I love seeing zombies get their fucking heads blown off and just completely obliterated. Hitler ends up experimenting a little bit, and we kind of see that. I won't spoil the end of the book. Just beautiful, beautiful art. A fun story. Such a quick read, too. I read this pretty fast. I love this, too. This is getting blown apart. Because they're going to infiltrate this compound and take out the scientists. I miss seeing Eduardo Risso on a more regular basis too. He's just one of my favorite artists, and to me, one of the more underrated artists because we don't see him on a lot of stuff. This is where we're kind of getting into what I was talking about with Hitler. So we're gonna get a final battle in the next two issues between Sergeant Rock, Easy Company against Hitler, and kind of seeing what Hitler is willing to do to push forth his Fourth Reich and kind of take everybody out. I love this little scenario too because Sergeant Rock had to get rid of his Zippo to kind of burn down something with all those zombies, and so they give him a new one. It says "fuck Nazis." Amazing. The coloring on here fantastic too. To you know, like it's mostly taking place at night. I love the bluish purple tone of the sky. These greens and stuff, kind of like looking almost like the tone of like zombie skin. So good. And then okay, this is where we're kind of getting into it. So Hitler obviously takes that chemical and transforms himself into something different, and it's absolutely insane. And I'll kind of skip towards a little bit of the end. I won't give you way too much, but if you don't want to be spoiled, definitely turn this video off. But we have a final battle that takes place, but at the very end, Sergeant Rock is approached by somebody that wants to have him join this top secret department, which is called the Division of Anomalous Phenomena. And it says the beginning. So I can only wonder, like, is there maybe room to kind of go forward with this? Have Sergeant Rock a part of this almost BPRD type organization? I don't know, but that is a series that I would love to read. DC, if it's even a thought, I highly suggest you follow through with that because it would be so much fun to read this kind of like new take on Sergeant Rock, but also set in the past, so you're not really messing with current continuity. What a great book. Some really great covers in the back. So sick. But that is Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. I highly recommend this. Highly recommend you pick this up. Just came out. Perfect for the Halloween season. Perfect any time of year, really. But just an excuse for me to talk about it during this time of year. And make sure you check out the rest of the October videos that we're putting out. Check out the back catalog as well. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. And on that note, I'm out.